Hey guys, so this is in between season 2 and season 3. We're taking breaks, a break-ish.
We need to rest our throats
Yeah,
and our brains.
even though we really technically haven't stopped recording, but as far as you guys know, we have. So there was no Wednesday episode last week. There's no Wednesday episode this week. And next week we're back again.
It's a debut season 3.
Boop, boop, boop. A really big, a heavy hitter, per se.
Oh, right off the rip.
Government conspiracy, aliens.
Reptilians.
Some really old friends of the show, cryptid-wise, come back.
Yes, a return.
But to help satiate your needs, we had a friend come in studio and just kind of hang out and tell some stories. Real good buddy.
Yep.
It's just kind of a fun episode. It's not our typical bag, but something you get to enjoy.
We're introducing you to one of our friends that may be coming back if you guys like it, which I think you will. He's a good friend of the show. Interesting feller, my fishing partner, and my bowling partner. So we're pulling people from the bowling community into the show. It's going to be a good time.
It's a ball. So, guys, enjoy this episode. Yeah. You're going to hear... I just kind of forgot that you're going to hear our Season 3 intro also. So this will be your first sneak peek, even though we talk about it in next week's episode.
Ew, we might have to cut that out.
I don't think I can because I started talking during it.
We can still cut it out.
All right, maybe you guys won't get it.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We'll see.
All right. Have a good week, guys. We'll be back next week with our normal kind of schedule. And that's kind of it.
Yep.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to Cryptids Of The Corn podcast. Welcome, Patreon members. We have some really, really special stuff lined up for you today. I'm going to actually kick it over to Jay.
Well, aren't you going to introduce your name first?
Oh, it's Patreon. They all know. I'm the great and powerful mystery.
Okay, and I'm Jay.
Just Jay?
Yeah, just Jay.
No
today.
nickname to Jay?
No.
To Jay?
To Jay, yeah, good one.
To Jay.
So today we are joined by a special guest in studio. It would be my fishing partner, my bowling partner, and my good friend, Jimmy Lee Neal.
Howdy, y'all. How you doing?
Oh, we are doing fantastic.
Good.
Say hi to all the people, Australia, England, all around the world.
All around the world. What's up, folks? What's going on?
We are introducing you guys to Jimmy and getting, I don't know, just giving you a dose of some local legends here. So,
We had this thought a long time ago.
yeah,
What did we call it? Local legends with a local.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a long time ago. It never really came to be.
You know,
So this
the
is
man, the myth, the legend. you know,
Exactly. So why not start with a bang?
So, yeah, got the shirt that says it. So,
Now, did you recognize anybody's voice besides me and Jay's in that intro?
I want to say, I think so. I believe so.
Does he know?
Yeah. Do you know Greg Howard?
Yes.
That was his Bigfoot encounter.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's the tail end of that. Was he came on the show and told us his encounter.
I mean, I've seen some pretty wild stuff. I mean, that's especially on like that reels and whatnot. I mean,
Oh,
I've seen
yeah.
some
Oh, yeah.
wild
I
stuff.
thought you meant in person.
Oh no, I know.
I thought- I
not
was
yet.
like,
No,
we're
not
getting a
yet.
treat.
No.
Oh, we'll
About
get-
Keep going to Minnesota, you will.
yeah, I
We're
hope
going
so.
to one
I
day.
hope so.
We're gonna find something. We're gonna go to that secret lake and we're gonna find us a Bigfoot.
I mean, my brother told me one time there was some bunch of monsters coming to get me from the woods, and I looked over, there's a bunch of pine trees, and from a distance, they looked like monsters.
Yeah.
So I turn around, he's gone. So I'm like, wow, he left me. So I shot towards the door, and he locked the door, and I knocked the door completely off the hinges and everything.
For the pine tree monsters.
Pine tree
pine
monsters
tree
is coming
monsters.
to get me. I was out. I was done. I gotta go.
I want you, Jimmy, to share the story of this past summer, when we went fishing in Minnesota, because it is a treat and it was a good time.
It was a good time, man. Got to be my first captain, so yeah, that was pretty all right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You drove a boat for the first time.
Yeah, you know, I've been fishing a million times, but I've always been in the front of the boat. Never got to be the captain of the boat. But this time I got a nice 10-minute lesson on how to be a boat captain. Oh, yeah, sent me off on my little way.
Well, you got to tell Justin what happened. So I wasn't there the first day because we were actually at a conference, weren't we?
Yeah. We were at the Michigan Bigfoot Conference
Yes.
because you had to leave. Yeah.
I had to leave and drive up to Minnesota from there. So you got stuck.
Yeah,
for-
yeah, because you didn't get there till what, like later Saturday.
Sunday.
He got
Yeah,
to
it was
get there
Sunday.
Sunday,
That's
so
right.
I got
'Cause
to
the
be.
conference was Saturday.
That's right. Yep.
So I got to be my own little man for about a 10-minute boat lesson Saturday. Then I was like, I'm good to go. Fellas set me loose. And then fished a little bit Sunday, not too much. But then I met Saturday, and then Sunday came around. Jay wasn't there yet, so I'm on my own. So it's raining, it's pouring rain. So I was like, it's on. I'm just going to do it, man. Fired that puppy up, and away I went. And now I've only been there once or twice, so I don't know really where I'm going. But I knew if I left the cabin and I went straight, I was fine. But if I went left or right, there's a good chance I ain't never coming back unless somebody comes and finds me. So I was like, I'm just going to stay straight around this little island thing. Well, the first thing I did was I went cruising around that little island and decided I was going to anchor myself off, which went good for a while until the boat swerved over onto a big rock, and nobody told me about you could raise the motor up. So I jumped in the water to push the motor loose from the rock, and I walked off the edge of that rock. Turns out got kind of deep there all of a sudden. So it's good that I kept a hold of the boat, because otherwise people would have been driving by and be like, hey, can I get a ride? My boat's over there, because I'm over here, because it drifted off.
Good thing you hung on.
Yeah, so that's true. Yeah, so at least I got back in the boat. So I was like, man, maybe I ought to just do me a little cruising, a little trolling maybe. That should be all right. So I go trolling along. As long as I went straight, I could go straight back, and I'd be able to find my way home. Well, it turns out, once I wound up hooking onto a nice big old walleye. And so now I'm freaking out. I turn the motor off. I'm trying to get this walleye in. I get it all tagged up. I get it netted up. I get it in there, and I'm like, uh-oh, I think I'm lost. I was like, do I go left? Do I go right? I was like, where do I go? I am actually physically, I am lost right now. And once I figured out exactly where I needed to go, I wound up turning the old boat wide open, and I headed towards where I figured was homeland. So I wound up running across a couple people that I know, and I slow down like for 0.2 of a second. And I raise up that big old walleye, and I'm like, hey, you guys got anything to keep this alive? I didn't even let him answer. I just dropped back in the boat, and I was like, never mind, forget it. So I scream onto the dock. I cruise up to the dock. I get the boat loaded up there, tie it all off. I jump in, I jump out. I grab that fish and I put it in a live well, and I'm kind of pumping it back and forth because you can make them kind of stay vibrant.
Yeah.
It seemed like it just wasn't as lively as what it should have been, and I'm freaking out. I was like, I don't want this fish to die, So another guy was there, and I was like, hey, he was like, hey, I'll fillet that fish for you. I was like, really? I was like, man, that'd be great. This dude that usually does ours is not here. I said, so man, that'd be great. I said, here, well, take a picture of it. Here's my phone. Well, guess what, folks? My phone is now gone.
So in the hustle bustle of wrestling this fish, one, you're driving the boat by yourself, you're fishing by yourself, you're netting it by yourself.
Yeah, I'm totally excited about everything. I'm just wigging. And I did a good job of keeping my phone out of the water all day because I had the live tunes on, I was just cruising and tuning and kept track of that phone the whole time until I got back to that dock. And then all that excitement started, and all of a sudden Mr. Phone come up missing.
Oh, yeah. So and then the next morning, it was that night is when I think I showed up.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that night you showed up, and Jimmy's just holding on to his head because all he can think about is his wife killing him for that $1,200 phone he just dunked in the water. It's like, oh, she's going to kill me, fellas. She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. Dude's like, what? I said, man, it's just bad news. I said, man, she's going to kill me for that phone, dude. I said, she's going to kill me.
You told me you're going to be tasting your nuts.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to kick you so hard.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she kicks me. I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm over there tasting my nads because I felt her stomping on them all the way up to my throat. I said, just telling me, that's $1,200 you sunk in the lake. Yep, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Yeah, definitely.
So that's when I showed up.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's down there pacing the dock, pacing the cabin, just hands on his head, pulling his hair out, pacing. And I don't really know what's going on until I talked to him and asked him. He's like, my phone. I lost my phone. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is. And you were looking all over.
But I had a real good idea. I was like, man, the only place I could have lost it was at this dock. And we wound up, when I first got there, we wound up moving my boat back and the live well back. Turns out my phone, which was a glorious thing, had fell in between the dock and under the water for about 4.5 feet. So the next morning, I happened to go out there, and I looked down, and I'm like, can't be.
Oh, it was like 6 a.m. too.
Yeah, it's like 6:30. It's nice and cool out. It's not. So I'm standing there looking. The sun's out pretty nice, and I'm like, that can't be my phone, can it? I was like, my phone's got a little shiny ring on the back of it, so it's pretty helpful to find. Thank God it was on there, because I would have never found it otherwise. But here's that little shiny ring underneath that water, and I'm like, I kind of block it a little bit, and I'm like, that is my phone. I said, I wonder if I can reach that. So I pulled my jacket off, because I got a sleeveless shirt on. I think I can reach that. Oh, no, it's about at least another 1.5 feet before I can even reach it. So I'm like, I'm getting this phone. Whether it's walking in from there or diving in from this dock, I will not leave without this phone. But the day before that, we found a gigantic snapping turtle right there in that area. So now I'm kind of hesitant on whether I walk down through there or I start twiggling my fingers down there. So I poke a little, one of those fishing nets around there, trying to get the phone to swoop up in there. Of course it won't. So that's when I decide I'm going in, So I pull the jacket off, can't reach it. Wound up pulling my shirt off, wound up going about, I don't know, shoulder to head deep, completely underwater. My head's completely underwater. I finally grab that phone. I pull it up, and I'm standing there looking at it like, oh, she's going to be so happy I found my phone. Whether it works or not, doesn't matter. The fact is, I found it. So now I am one notch up on the not getting killed a meter. So now I'm good. So then I take it up there, and they're all like, I walk into the cabin, my hair's dripping wet, ain't got no shirt on. They're like, what'd you do, jump in the lake? Yep. They're like, oh, my God, you found your phone. That's unbelievable. Yeah, it is. Like, now, there ain't no rice to soak this thing in now, is there? They're like, nope. So we wound up soaking it in a bunch of
worm bedding.
Worm bedding.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah, so yeah, if anybody ever drops their phone in the water, forget about that rice, drop in some worm bedding.
Did it ever turn back on?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So after I got it back in here, I dried it. I put it in that worm bedding for like maybe 2.5 days. Cleaned her all off, and I got the old charger out, and I popped her in there. All of a sudden, it coming up with that little ring, like, I'm starting to charge. I'm like, somebody likes me somewheres. I set it up there. It's about an hour and a half. I go back and look at it. It says 65%. I'm like, I'm going to wait till you get to 100%, and I'm going to hit the go button. That bad boy got to 100%. I said, Deet. It said, phone starting. Oh, my God. I said, I'm going to call the wife and tell her what I did. Oh, yeah. So it was an eventful thing. Now, so if anybody goes to Minnesota and they drop their phone in the water, it's called I pulled a Jimmy.
Yeah, we did say that all weekend.
Yep. So your dad dropped his phone in the water. Yeah, that's the first thing they said when they got back. Hey, he pulled a Jimmy. I was like, well, what's that? Put his phone in the water.
But he didn't find it.
But he didn't find his.
No.
But I did, and it still worked. So, yeah, the old Samsung, whatever it is.
Is that the same phone you still got?
Still got now, right now. Still works
That's
good.
a pretty good phone.
That's a pretty mean phone, isn't it? To spend that much time underwater.
Right, and it was underwater for
What?
like 12 hours.
That's
15, about
impressive.
15 hours, So
That's
once
impressive.
I did call my wife, I was like, "Hey, you want to hear what I did?" She was like, oh, "What'd you do?" So I lost my phone in the lake. I said, "But I found it because I'm talking to you on it." And she was like, she said, "Well, of course, I'm freaking out the whole time." She's like, "Well, your phone's insured, right?" I was like, "No." She's like, your phone's awful water resistant, right? I said, "Yeah, for 4.5 feet for 15 hours. I said, "I think I might have exceeded that limit."
Window a little bit.
Yeah, just, I may have.
Water resistant means if you sprinkle some water from your hands on it,
Yes.
it probably is not going to explode.
Yeah.
But to be plunging underwater for 15 hours, I think you sure it ain't waterproof, woman? Because it acts like it shut off. So it wouldn't, like, short itself out or whatever.
Yeah,
'Cause
it probably does have a safety feature in it where
I
it
hope
just
so.
basically disconnects the battery so it doesn't fry the circuitry.
I hope
Because the
so.
circuitry is waterproof, as long as there's not electricity going through
Running
it.
through it, yeah.
I wonder if it does, because it went in there. It had power before it went in.
We had I used to be the field biologist, stuff like that. So all of our like Garmin stuff and everything, they had those sensors in them.
Oh, really?
Because if they fell in the water, they'd immediately shut off.
Ooh,
So they weren't waterproof, but long as they were shut off when they actually got water internally.
What would you say? Water retardant?
Like water safety systems. So it's just a weird thing.
It's
you know,
like-
waterproof is like you can hold your phone underwater because there's phones like that you can hold underwater and use them.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if that one has like a pressure sensor in it when it gets so.
It's pressure or even a little liquid sensor.
Yeah.
But Craig Lennon was ice fishing a long time ago with us at a cabin in Michigan, and he's standing up and he's looking for his phone, and he can't figure out what happened to his phone, and then he looks down in the hole, and he had a waterproof case on it. About 40 foot down, you could see his phone still lit up.
Oh, no.
Oh wow! Somebody get a magnet, boys.
Oh, you ain't getting that thing back.
So it's
But
gone?
but yeah, because he was listening to music and he stood up, and it's a long time ago, so it's no wireless headphones, nothing like that yet. He stood up, and then the music stopped, and he's looking all over, like, okay, where'd I drop it?
In the hole.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised.
Out of all things, nothing else but one little tiny hole in the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And where do you drop your phone? Right through that little hole.
We're going ice fishing in a couple weekends. You'll be surprised. Like these little holes, like though I use an 8-inch hole, and we have a 8x8 shanty, so it takes up very little space, and the actual shanty is the hole. Everything you drop will immediately run to the hole.
It's like suction, just
It's something. It's just like it has to fall into the hole.
I've never been ice fishing, so I don't know. I'm noited out about it, so I don't know. I don't know if I'd do it or not.
Michigan's a little different than Ohio. Ice, there's trucks parked out there. There's semis and stuff like that.
But man, I still don't know if I'd be comfortable out there. I'd hear that, but like, I'm out, boys. I'm out.
There's good cracking and bad cracking.
Man, you'd hear the door, the shanty would fly open. Old Jimmy'd be like the Matrix, man.
And then, like you said earlier, getting lost. So I don't know if I even shared this story ever with Jay. We were in St. John's River fishing one of the big estuaries in Florida, and they have these gigantic patches of weeds that float, but you can't tell they're floating because they're like island-sized patches of weeds.
Oh, wow.
And we're out gar fishing, and I'm famous for knowing my way back no matter where we go. Like if I go somewhere once, I could probably get there again. So we're all the way out, and all these little back channels, everything. And so it's time to head back. We start head back, and I'm like, the turn's supposed to be right here. And there's nothing. There's an island. Like it's just more ground. And Dad's like, no, obviously not, because I'm like, no, it's right here. Because it's past this old big dead cypress tree that we were supposed to go like right here. He's like, no. And then we were lost for like 2 hours. Came back, and the channel's there. We couldn't figure out what happened. We thought we were like tripping because we're like, no, it was here, and then it wasn't, and then it was here, and then we seen one go past us. Literally, it had trees and everything in it.
Oh, dang.
No way.
Yeah, it's just so it looks like it's moving so slow you can't tell it's an island. We actually end up fishing under them. That's where we got all the big bowfin. Is the bowfin would hang up with a fry underneath them.
Wow,
Alligators or manatees will ride on them. Well, manatees will ride under them. Alligators will ride on them.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
You get lost super easy.
Yeah, I got lost super easy up there. I mean, I can imagine.
It's a lake you don't know nothing like it.
It's a lake you don't know, and there's no houses, there's no points
there's no
of
points
like,
of recognition.
exactly at
no
all.
landmarks.
None. You just look both
We got
ways.
lost on Burt Lake in a blizzard. So Burt Lake's like 10 miles wide and like 5 miles long. So most of Burt Lake, with ice fishing, you can't see the shoreline.
Really?
And it starts snowing so hard, you can kind of see it always. I mean, there's never, if it's not snowing, you can see it. The second you get a little bit of snow,
Gone.
it all melts away. We end up doing these big circles out there trying to work our way back.
It's like, I think it's that way. Somebody should have brought a compass, man. We can find our way home.
We'll need that next year for Minnesota.
Exactly. And my phone's got one of those, so we'll just use that little bad mamma jamma.
As long as it's not in the water.
Hey, that's all right. Now I got a little thing next year. I've thought of some preventions to make that ever happen.
You need to put it on a string, like a nurse's string.
Oh, no, I'm going to get me the same thing we take to brewing. It slides in this nice little pouch, hangs around my neck. So the only way it's going in the water is if I go with it.
There you go. I just we have them for the pliers on the boat. It's like a retractable string. So if you drop it, it immediately gets sucked back into the boat.
You know what? We need those because we get them lost in the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
The pliers, because it's just like this thing. So no matter what, when you sit the pliers down, it goes back to the same spot.
Mm-hmm. That's good because you got two pairs and you can't find either one of them because they're both on the floor rolling around.
Yeah, underneath the seats and stuff.
We've thrown pliers back trying to throw fish back.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
I lost like 2 lures last year in Michigan, setting them just down on nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have a little captain's table next to my chair, but if I'm turned too far, there's nothing there. So I literally went plop,
In the water.
and it was brand new fishing lure. I was just about to tie on.
Bygone. See ya.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Not gonna use
we're
no
in
more.
60
Hope
foot
you
of
catch a
water.
fish.
It's gone.
Hope you catch a fish, because I won't be there to help you.
Well, my dad did that once, he didn't do it. I actually lost a big old lure we just bought that year up in Canada. And I got snagged in rocks, and then line snap. I'm like, no, that was the booby trap is what it was called. This big spinner. And we circled back around just to see. And then my dad looked down there and seen something just shiny. I think that's it. He's like, oh, I think I can reach that. He did what you did. He jumped in the water and immediately all the way under. I had everything underwater.
It's like, yeah, you think you can reach it. No, it looks like it ain't that deep, but guess what? It's that
It
deep.
is
that deep.
He dove down and got it. He retrieved it.
Like I said, once I was in that deep, be like, you know what? It's cool, kids. I'm going for it, man. I could see it. I was right there. I should have jumped in and got that crawdad lure, because I was like, it's right there, man. I know it's right there in between them two rocks. I know it is.
We were picking up. Yeah, Jimmy had this sweet little crawdad lure.
It was bad to the bone, man. It was awesome.
You throw it out there and it would pull from the back, so it looked like a crawdad shooting across, and just sit on the bottom and
like the tail would flip.
That's
like
awesome.
It was swimming, and it had two wires underneath the hooks so they wouldn't get caught. But when it gets wedged in between two rocks with the tail and the rock, then, well, guess what? Snappo.
Yeah, we lost her.
Should have got her in there and got it. It was right there, man. Water was only 70-some degrees. I'd already been in it 2 or 3 different times that week. Well, it was one more time. I should have went down there and got that thing.
Oh, man.
Should have.
Yeah, what did all we catch when we were up there? We caught some pike.
Caught some pike. And that turtle, I tried to pull up that big old pike that I caught, and the turtle ate half of it.
Oh, yeah. So we had a turtle eat our
Our
fish on our stringer.
fish.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
We pulled it in an otter once
No way.
in Tennessee. It was in our basket of crappie.
Screw that.
Literally.
Oh, wait, it got in the basket?
It was open in the bottom hole of the basket.
Yeah.
And we kept pulling it up, and I'm like, we're close to limited, but it just don't look like it. And there's only like 12 crappie. I'm like, no, we're supposed to have like 35 crappie. What the hell's happening?
So he was following you?
Yeah, he was just, he's under the boat the whole time.
Yeah.
He must have, I don't know, we never seen him breathe or nothing. The one time he pulled up, his hand got stuck for a second. He was going ballistic.
Oh, I bet.
He was caught.
Those things are mean.
And next day we bought one of those foam coolers and started throwing them in the boat.
Okay.
And feed no more friggin' otters.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think that's why the guys in Minnesota wind up using the zip ties on the bottom of their net.
Oh, probably.
Because the turtles come up and just
Yeah, they get right in them baskets.
chomp that net, man.
Mm-hmm.
Taking them fish. I'm getting that. You know how hard that pike is to catch when I'm sitting there? Pfft, now he's in a basket. He's mine.
Oh, so, Jimmy, do we share our secret about catching the big fish?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Your dad and Ned probably already know it, if it's even a secret.
Or do we keep it close to the vest?
But it does seem like it was a really good idea, man. Really, well, it worked. It worked the one time.
You want me to spill the beans?
You can spill the beans if you want to.
So, me and Jimmy are fishing the last day up in Minnesota. And we're probably in the last couple hours, maybe the last...
Yeah, at least
the final
the last
hour of the final day.
The final countdown. Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, it's all right. Use a moment. You had to roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you were driving, right?
Yeah, I was driving. Yeah.
So we did a U-turn to head back towards the cabin, and then that's when we seen it. It was like that little channel in the water. It's just that calm water. You know, you got the waves on both sides, and there's that calm path. Looks like, I don't know, it just looks like a path made for the boat to drive in.
Yeah, it looks like maybe it's the underground channel that's in there or something, but everything else was just wavy, and that big, like a 15-foot spot was just smooth.
Do you know what that is?
It's probably a boat wake, an old boat wake.
There was no boats out
So
there.
they can last for up to an hour after a boat went
Oh,
through.
really? Well, shoot. And
Man,
But because it's causing this disturbance, the boat when it goes through is causing all this disturbance. Not saying it doesn't attract fish or whatever, but that smooth patch kind of looks like a river running through. Most lakes are going to be really small to not actually. It would be very tough to have that on the surface, like Torch Lake, Crystal Lake, and Michigan stuff. They have the rivers that run through them, but they almost always run on the bottom. They don't push current to the top. They almost snake along the bottom.
about the only thing I could think of with this lake, too, is it does have a
Natural
spring that feeds the one in.
That's not enough current. I mean, it would be quite a hefty spring. But It's probably a boat trail. I'm
Well-
not saying it doesn't. So what's causing that is the water in that spot's upturning and causing it to be nice and gentle on top.
Oh yeah.
But then everything else can be wavy around it because it's still split water from when the boat went through.
See, and that's what I guess.
Even a long time ago? I mean,
It could be like an hour. You've
Really?
never seen nobody.
wow.
Oh yeah, because we didn't. We were the last ones.
We were
out
talking
early.
about it when we did our Loch Ness episode.
Yeah.
Those standing boat wakes can last hours, sometimes on bigger bodies of water.
Well,
I'm still going to roll with the theory, though. Still
Yeah.
going to roll with it, though.
I thought
No, it doesn't say it doesn't work.
Yeah,
It-
right.
it
there's
just,
something to it. So Jimmy, like, let's hit that current. It's because it was facing home anyways.
Right.
It's probably
So we're
Fred's boat.
So we're like, you know what? Let's just ride that out and see where it takes us and see if we snag anything. So we're following it, putting through there. We get right to about where the end of it was, and then his pole just bends over the back of the boat, and he hooked a huge walleye.
And it wound up pulling that string all the way to the end, but I didn't put that little piece of tape on the little bait caster thing. I learned a little lesson there, too. And it just kept spinning on the reel. Man, he broke my line, dude. I could see it flopping in the wind.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think it's spinning on the spool. I was like, hold on. Next thing I know, click, man. I was like, all right. Let's reel this in. All of a sudden, the line starts jerking. I was like, oh, my gosh, he's still on there, man. He is still on there. I was like, how can that even be?
Spring training is right around the corner. So come for the games and have a ball in Arizona. With world-class resorts, unbeatable dining and nightlife, amazing scenery, and endless outdoor adventure. Make your visit unforgettable. Plan your getaway at myspringtraining.com.
Sure enough, it was another big old fat walleye. I was
Oh, yeah.
like, holy spokes.
That is nuts. He pulled his line all the way out to nothing. And then he thought he was gone. He thought he snapped it. And I'm like, is your
Well,
drag set?
I was reeling like a mamma jammer. I was like, hey, I
Nothing
think he
was-
broke it. And that's what Jay said. I think it's spinning on the spool. I was like, reeled her in just a little bit, got her to catch, and started reeling that excess. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, the pole dips down in the water. I was like, hey, wait a minute. I think that feller's still on there. How can that even be? How do you not chomp that line right in half? It didn't have no leader on it or nothing. So I don't know how he didn't chew that in half.
That's the catch of the day, though.
It was. That was the good one. That was the good one. That 19-inch smallmouth was pretty awesome, too, because he come out of the water, 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
And got him in the boat, and turns out he's got 2 hooks in his side. Because he must have spit one out, and the one must have come around and hooked him again, and then the other one got him again. Either that or maybe I snagged him on the way by. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
well, he hooked him on his side, though. Got him all the way in the boat, though.
yeah, once I got him in the boat, it was in his side. I think it was in his mouth at one time, but I think he did some flipping and some flopping and got
Once
rid of
they
it.
can get rolled in the line, and that'll immediately snag them. Once they'll pop the hook, and it'll go along their body and catch somewhere else.
That's what I was wondering too. If he did a shake and that other back hook that wasn't into nuts and wound up hooking him in the side, and then he popped that other one out, and it was still wound up coming back and getting him anyway. I know it took me about 3 to 5 minutes to get him in because he wasn't having no joy coming in. I can tell you that. Shoo. Out of that water 4 or 5 times. So what's all these diddy dots on this board over here, fella?
What's he pointing out?
Oh, the map of Ohio.
Oh, that's the paranormal map of Ohio. Every haunting, every cryptid, every weird little thing, every UFO sighting. Well, not everyone, but
The major
ones of note.
Yes. There's also like Bigfoot tracks, like track
Yeah,
sightings.
famous cast, stuff like that.
All sorts of
Cool.
stuff on there.
I was wondering. I was just wondering. I was asking.
I got we don't got it laminated yet, but I have the U.S. one up there, folded up.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's on top of the shelf.
That'd be cool.
There's all kinds of neat one-off stuff in here.
So yeah, definitely some cool stuff in there. Oh, that's cool.
It's a shower curtain
Indeed.
It's octopus fighting Sasquatch.
by our friends, Jess and her brother from Broken Branch Design.
Cool, man. That's tight.
We're speaking at their event this year.
You're in bad shape, Sasquatch.
Yeah, I don't think he's winning that one.
I don't think
Sasquatch
so.
will win a lot of fights,
Yeah, but not that one.
but yeah, I don't.
It's like I'm just going to drag you into the water and I'm going to drown you. Then I'm going to eat you.
So, what do you think about Bigfoot, Jimmy?
I think it's got to be out there, man. I mean, there's just too much going on that can't be out there.
What do you think it is?
Man, is it a big dude that's lived out in the woods for a long time and just really freaking hairy, or is it an actual culture? Is it an actual like ape type culture, like monkeys have that genre of folks? I mean, sure they ain't got that same kind of genre going on.
Right. Yeah. Or was it an experimental mutant?
It could be one of them government science things. I've seen some things on that too. Some weird looking critters.
That's what Jay thinks the Grafton monster was.
Oh yeah, I think so. Some government experiment all shot up with drugs and stuff,
Yeah.
and they
The headless
escaped.
horror.
Yeah, let's just go drop him in some foreign country and watch him tear some stuff off.
Right.
He was more like a big peaceful headless seal.
Peaceful.
Yeah, he
Guess he didn't hurt
Grafton
nobody.
didn't do nothing.
That's
That's
right.
kind of the thing with the story. Is that the people immediately formed a mob and accidentally shot one another. The monster
Didn't do
literally
nothing.
did nothing besides sit beside the road and stare at the river. Just like Lenny from Mice and Men. And then a guy almost hit him with a car, and then all hell broke loose.
Misunderstood.
People with their insanity say, "Hey, you know what? Let's just go shoot each other."
How many stories have we done where immediately after the monster is sighting, a monster posse forms to go hunt the thing, and they end up... We did it with our Loch Ness stuff. It's not fully... Well, it will be all the way out by the time this episode comes out, so I can ruin this. But no, they a bunch of guys had a harpoon gun, a homemade harpoon gun, and they ended up shooting another boat with it. Hunting in the fog. They almost killed another guy because they just had this gigantic homemade harpoon gun, a pressurized harpoon,
Hunting the Loch Ness monster.
and then they seen a boat in the fog and immediately shot it.
No, that's...
You imagine if you're sitting there in your little fishing boat, trolling for some walleye, and a 5-foot harpoon comes just...
I'd be looking for some explanation, boys.
I'd probably rack another one. Make sure the monster's dead.
Right. Yeah.
What is wrong with you fellas, man? Don't you want to confirm something before you shoot at it?
No, nobody does.
No.
Shoot first. Ask
Just
questions.
ask
later.
questions later.
All right, so what do you think about UFOs?
Man, I see a lot of those pilot things, like air
The
pilots
tic-tac and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, that's... Never would knew there was that much of it out there. But, yeah, I mean, they're got to be out there. I mean, and, just my whole thing is, pyramids and the Sphinx and how those people really build those.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas?
How did you move that 200-ton stone with people and put it up on top of this other one? I think aliens did it, man. I really do.
Or mastodons?
Yeah, I guess I could see them picking up. Yeah, maybe
Make the
pulling.
elephants drag it.
Yeah, but man, how are you going to get somebody up that high to carve that Sphinx face in there with that much precision?
The precision's what gets me.
Wasn't the Sphinx the one that's carved from the surrounding rock? It wasn't moved?
That could be.
Maybe so. Yeah.
I think the Sphinx, that's why it's special. The pyramids were moved there. The Sphinx was built. The Sphinx was a naturally occurring rock formation there, and they carved away stuff.
to make the Sphinx.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
And the head's different. We talked about that. The head's not the original head.
right. Yeah, it's a different
That
head.
dude's head on it. It originally had a big. What was it?
Well, they don't know.
They kind of think
speculate
they think it was
a jackal,
A jackal.
or a dog or a,
Yeah, 'cause it wasn't like
or a lion.
cats
is one
and
of the,
stuff, lions and cats and whatnot.
Didn't have a
Egyptians.
human face.
Yeah. Right. It definitely wasn't a human head.
Because wasn't it modeled after
one of the
a
kings.
much later pharaoh?
Yeah, or pharaoh. Yeah, that's it. And the
much
head's,
later
And the
pharaoh.
head's so small proportion to the body. But the pyramid, the Great Pyramids, the foundation which the pyramid sits on, that was artificially made too. It's like basalt rock they put there and they laid there too. So the whole foundation in which it sits on was built and constructed. So it's even more nuts than.
Do you have any ideas, Jimmy? It's nobody knows. Anything we're talking about, nobody knows.
Speculation.
Right, it's hearsay and speculation. I mean, it's amazing how they can move that big of a rock, and then you bring that water, you bring a rock that size across water. I mean, I know they said they could have did it on a boat, but is there any boat back then that could handle that much weight without sinking?
So they had some pretty unique systems designed for moving those rocks. If you want to go that route, there was what are those guys? I always talk about them. I always forget. They're like out in Nevada or something like that. So it's two older gentlemen, and they use technology from the time, and they move gigantic rocks. I think their record for two men moving a rock is like 150 tons.
Wow.
It's something stupid. And it's literally these two guys. It's a big pulley system, but they just kind of both push down with just their body weight, and it picks up this big rock and gently carries it over and sets it back down.
That's amazing.
So not saying that there's nothing. I don't think the pyramids are that special. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
Because you don't know nothing.
I
that's
think
why.
other pyramids in the world are special. I mean the Great Pyramids. I'm talking about the Great Pyramids of Giza. I don't think they're that special. I just think they're big.
They are big.
I think other pyramids around the world have more significance than those pyramids.
I'm going to have to disagree.
That's fine. You're going to be wrong. You're wrong all the time.
You do know the Great Pyramid, I think I told you this, it's 8-sided, not 4-sided.
Yeah, because
right?
it's slightly curved in.
Yeah, so the math on that to build that is...
Do you think it was actually, what did they say, marble capped?
Oh, like that crystal, whatever, capped by that...
They think it's marble, I believe. Or was it quartz? It wasn't
Crystal
quartz.
quartz, yeah, it was quartz.
But it wasn't wholly crystal quartz.
Something that's like that. There's still
I think it was marble, because marble has quartz in it.
They have it though still. There's one of the tour guys, you can go on YouTube and watch him. He does some tours around there, but they don't like him doing the main tours, the official ones. But all the rubble that was falling off that was still there existing, that they knew it was still there, they dug a big hole and shoved it all into it and buried it right beside the pyramid just to hide it all. And he's like, well, I wonder why. And he pulled out some pieces that he had that had like perfect drill holes right through it and stuff. It's just weird stuff. But why would they bury it and hide it? Like the caps that was remaining, you know what I mean? It's all gone, but they buried it.
Somebody stole the gold, had to cover up their tracks.
Yeah, probably.
Hell, Napoleon used to use it for target practice.
The Sphinx's face,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, that's why it's all. That's why the nose is gone.
Yeah, he used to use it for cannonball practice.
Really?
Yeah,
And that's
when he
why
took
the
over
nose
Egypt
is-
for a short period of time. He would just, he had all of it. He hated Egypt. Napoleon hated Egypt.
Short man complex.
Yeah. He hated everybody, to be fair.
Yeah, anything that was bigger than him.
Tried to invade Russia in the winter.
Yeah. Didn't work.
Yeah. That's going to backfire right off the start.
Yeah, the Russians aren't happy there anyways.
Yeah.
They're not going to fight you. They're not going to go outside. It's negative 85.
Yeah. And if they do, they're not going to be happy about it, and they're going to really fight nasty.
There's a polar bear frozen solid out there. You think they're going out there?
They're going to sit out there and watch, be like, yeah, let them come across. How you doing, fellas?
And if anyone might, it would be the Russians probably.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
get a little drink of vodka in them, and they'll do it.
We drink the vodka, we go out here and shoot these guys.
So what do you think about Ghost?
Good. You know what? I think they're out there, man. Because I guess as long as you believe in God and whatnot, I mean, there has to be something out there because there's too many amazing things that happen. Is it just fate that did that, or was there actual power that did that?
Mm-hmm. There's too much
Or
coincidence.
was there somebody looking out for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe in ghosts. I do. I really do.
Oh,
I believe my sister actually saw one time. My older brother that passed away, he said he came down, sat down on her bed, and was like, "Shh, you don't see me." She said she pulled the covers over her head. It's like, I certainly don't.
I would have done the same thing.
She said, I certainly don't. But it took her a long time before she would ever tell anybody
it's
about that.
Amazing thing in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very odd thing to experience, and have to sit there and deal with.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I never have. I mean, I must have had one of those sleep dreams or whatever. But I asked my brother, I was like, didn't we see our uncle drive by on our road past our house and wave to us, and his hood was crushed in on the top of his car? He was like, no, he passed away on 117. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I felt the wind of that car going by, and I tasted the dust. He's like, no, dude, it did not happen. I was like, must have been one of them dreams where, reality dreams or whatever.
What is that called?
Just feels real.
It starts with a P.
Premonition.
Premonition, thank you. Yeah. A premonitive dream.
Yep. So I figured out, but yeah, he wound up passing away on 117, but I could swear I seen him on
You probably did.
Plum Road waving to us, and his hand crushed in on the car and his hand out the window waving to us as he drove by. Dwayne's like, no, never happened, dude. Never happened. I was like, dude, I felt the wind, man. I could taste the dust of the car driving by. I said, dude, he's like, no, it never happened. I was like, all right, man. But I'm telling you, it sure felt like it did.
That's crazy though. You know.
I must have been one of them premonition dreams or something, or like deja vu kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
I've done this before.
Right.
I know I've done this before. You know, you just dreamed that you're about to do it. You did it before in your dream, but you ain't done it yet. So yeah, I believe in ghosts, man. I really do.
Your turn, Jay.
What, for a question?
Yeah, get Jimmy's opinion on stuff because he's got great opinions on this stuff.
I know. Well, we did Bigfoot. We did UFOs, ghosts.
What about that big werewolf dude? 'Cause I've
Oh.
seen a couple of things on that.
Dogman?
About a truck driver that stopped on the side of the road, and next thing he looks up, and there's like this 8-foot figure with gigantic teeth and red eyes looking through his window.
Ooh.
Well, what do you
What
think?
what is that dude called?
Well, Dogman is what most people
Really?
refer to as. Like it's like almost it's like a werewolf without being a person. Mm-hmm. Like there's no so werewolf have that person like transforming into that creature.
Right, he just stays.
He's just that creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen some couple episodes on that too. I was like, wow, that's pretty wild too. I mean, that ain't something you'd want to walk through the woods and run into.
No, I mean
No, yeah.
I mean, Jiminy
they're
Christmas.
literally the worst one. We did an episode called, "The Beast of the Land Between the Lakes." Killed a whole family. There's police documentation of this. Dad was slashed all to pieces. Mom, her face was all slashed up. The little 3-year-old girl, part of her was in one tree, and part of her was in another tree, and they had her intestines hanging there like Christmas ornaments.
Like connecting the two.
Holy smoke!
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was a massacre.
Yeah, that's
The
just,
coroner said it had to be an axe murder of the whole family, but the only thing he couldn't understand was no matter if you kill somebody with a brand new axe right out the box or a really old axe, it leaves micro metal behind, and they could find none of it. But he's like, the wounds could have only been done by something really sharp and heavy, slashing. And he's like, it had to be an axe. It's really weird that they couldn't find these micro metals.
couldn't be a claw.
Yeah, well,
Could be.
he's not trained for that. He's just trained to.
Yeah, axe or
Search
not.
out metals and whatnot.
Right.
Not to look for.
Tools.
I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Tell your superiors it looks like they were ripped apart by
a dog man.
a dog
Yeah,
man?
yeah, by an 8-foot wolf dude with massive claws and huge teeth, dude.
But what do you think about him?
I mean, I haven't heard a lot about it, but I mean, what I have heard about it sounds pretty scary. But I
Yeah.
mean,
It's probably the worst one of any of these monsters, cryptids, creatures, where you could possibly run into.
that's what I would figure too, because I mean, its whole purpose is to
These are probably gray aliens.
eat, and survive.
Well, I think a gray alien I could at least kick.
No, because see, they have that thing where they kind of make you stop moving,
Oh, okay.
and then they molest you, and then they put stuff in and out of you, and they take your organs out. There was one I was listening to where the human was both the man and woman were completely dissected while they were still conscious. And they could feel it all and everything. And the alien just kept telling them not to worry about it. They'll be fine. But they're like, it hurts.
Yeah,
Shoot.
screw that.
He'd be hearing some words from me. You better hope I don't get up off that table.
Well, they had like her liver was out, her ovaries were out, or her intestines were out. She's seen her lungs.
You better hope he can control me before we ever get to that point.
I think that she even later on identified a tumor, like from seeing her own organs come out of her body.
Oh,
And
wow.
they found a tumor. Like she told the doc, like,
Well, fix it then, you jackwad.
yeah. Oh no, gray aliens are not good.
They're bad, huh?
Yeah, they're bad. They're them and the reptiles.
Yeah,
the
I don't-
reptilians.
Not a fan.
Reptilians just drank you.
I also think anything with the red eyes.
Yeah,
is-
nothing in nature should have red eyes besides
Yeah.
hatchetfish.
It's like a spirit or a demon or something.
Now, sometimes you flash light on your dog every once in a while, and they come across them like red, beady little eyes.
Shine is different than I glow. If they're just sitting there and they're glowing red,
In the dark.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably not the best thing to
Yeah,
be around.
time to go. Time to go.
That's a fair point of your brain's like, yeah, it's time to
Yeah.
skedaddle.
Hey, did you hear that growl at me? Let's go see what it was. No,
Yeah,
let's
not
go.
me.
That's
Let's
why-
go that way and see it from a distance.
I'd be like, see you, Jimmy. I am not going anywhere near this.
Nope. Yeah.
I'm going to McDonald's.
Hey, here's your flashlight. You can go on ahead and let me know how that comes out. Call me. 'Cause I'm not going with you.
Oh, man.
Or like, you see them red eyes over there? Let's go check it out.
Yeah, no.
No, let's don't. Let's stay over here and maybe go get a big, long, powerful flashlight and fling it over there a couple times.
Yeah. That would not be on board for that mission.
Nope, I would not either.
I would abandon ship.
Yep, I'm out. I'm swimming. Hopefully it can't swim because I'm gone.
Because I'm gone.
I'm gone. I'm treading water, boys. See me walk on water here in a minute 'cause I'm out.
Be running that fast.
No, what else can we ask Jimmy?
I'm trying to think. I know you got more stories to share, but I don't want to dive into them too deep or anything right now. Jimmy's got some good childhood stories, but maybe we can bring them back.
Oh, I do got some doozies about those. Yeah, there's some dandies. And most of my brother's torture, but it's all glorious for me. Glorious torture for him.
Okay, wait. I do got to get one more story out of it, actually, now that I think about it. You need to tell Justin your praying mantis story.
Oh, about getting bit by that one?
Oh, yeah. Have I told you this one?
Yes.
I have told you?
Yes.
Has Jimmy told you?
No.
Well,
So let's hear it.
well, I lived out in the country, so I always liked bugs, man. I mean, bugs was always just the coolest thing. Well, I'd never seen a praying mantis before.
And you were how old at this time?
Maybe 6.
Okay.
6, 8-ish. And I'd never seen one before, especially nothing this big. I mean, this thing was a monster. I mean, it was huge. It was cryptic looking, it looked like a dinosaur. I mean, it just had these big cryptic claws and this triangular shaped head and just these weird looking eyes and it's just tilting its head around. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have that. I picked up a million spiders off their webs by just picking up them by the tail and just toss them in a jar. I had the same plan with that praying mantis. So I thought I'd just reach my hand around behind its back and I'll snatch it up. Well, as soon as it saw me, it raised back on its tail and stuck its arms up. And that just struck my enthusiasm even more. I wanted you before. Now I've got to have it. Got to have it now. So as soon as I got my hand close to it, this thing raised. It literally grabbed my finger and pulled my finger down to it. And I watched its little jaw open up and bite me right there. And as hard as I could reach over and just like pinch you with just a little bit of skin, that's exactly what it felt like. And I was like, oh my God. So, man, it took me 5 shakes to get this thing to finally fly off my finger. Because it clamped on there like that with them claws, and then it just hammered me. Chink. And I was just like, oh my God. So it was like 5 shakes, finally got this thing to fly off. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted you before. Then I really wanted you when you did that. Oh, now I definitely got to have you. So I got me this big old jar, man. I swooped it up in this jar. Wound up putting a bunch of sticks and some leaves in there and some grass. Then every bug I could find, right? The biggest, nastiest spiders I could find, the meanest bumblebees, wasps, whatever I could find. Flip them in that jar. Praying mantis would just smash them, right? So I'd let it kill, I don't know, half a dozen bugs. I wound up letting it go, though, because I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, you're a champion, dude. I mean, everything. It didn't matter what you put in there. It just bam, just snatch it right up and just it's like, oh man, I can't believe you just ate that. But it's awesome.
She earned her freedom.
She did, right after she bit my finger. I made her captive for a little while, but she earned her freedom after she killed, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10. The only bug I didn't care for is them millipedes, them little red ones that's got the couple legs on. That's the only one bug I just would not snatch it up. I just would not pick it up. I don't know why. It's something about them little dudes when you flip over a log and there's this little red little leg and no, I'm out, man. I'm nothing to do without any other bug. I'm cool with, but that little dude, I don't know. I don't like him.
It's probably a good thing though.
Probably, because I don't know if they're poisonous or not.
Oh, they're venomous. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They'll let you up.
That's why I never messed with them.
I used to have tiger centipedes, and I had a Vietnamese centipede. So a Vietnamese centipede gets about that long.
Whoa.
And they get about that thick. And they will mess you up 8 ways to Sunday.
Is that the one that escaped in your house?
No, that was a millipede.
Oh, okay.
That's the gentle
Yeah,
version.
got the bunch of tiny little
Yeah,
legs.
millipedes.
You're talking about the one that's got those
Centipedes,
big, long,
yeah,
aggressive
red,
legs out the
fast.
side and got that pincher that's like, I've seen
That's
them
a centipede,
on TV.
carnivores. Millipedes are herbivores. Real slow. They're all millipedes are really toxic, but you got to eat them. Like, you just don't eat them.
Now, then there's some monkeys that actually
Lemurs,
yes, get a buzz off of them.
Yep.
Get like they're on hallucinogens.
Yeah, it is a hallucinogen.
Yes.
Huh, I didn't know that.
What are you gonna do? Let's go hit us some
Well,
freaking millipedes.
Yeah, what they do is they get them and they ball up and they start bashing them on the tree and stuff like that. Not hard enough to kill them, but hard enough to really make them mad.
Yeah.
And they look like they're oozing stuff.
Yeah, they'll squirt juice out,
Yeah.
spray juice at them.
Yeah, and then they sit there and they lick it and they're like,
Yeah, or they'll like try to bend them and stuff, and you'll see them squirt, and they'll be able to and then they'll just be sitting in the tree like, yeah. They'll go all willy nilly for a while, and what's some other monkeys or something like that eats the fermented fruit,
a lot like baboons. And
then
stuff
they'll wind
like
up
that.
getting drunk off that fermented fruit that's been sitting there. That's almost like turned into a wine.
There was a video of a whole bunch of animals in Africa getting drunk off of fruit, including a family of elephants.
Oh, that's great.
And these elephants were destroying stuff and like
Just being drunk idiots.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's like we're big, we're bad. Let's go crunch some stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go chase that guy down because he's too small. He can't do nothing.
They probably would.
Probably would. And be like, yeah, you know what? We weigh like 15. We're like 3 or 4 tons. What do you want to go pick on?
anything on the planet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can go mess with that hippo. We can make him run. Even though the hippo's like one of the meanest dudes on the planet.
They'll still win. I watched a video a couple of days ago of elephants getting in the water to harass hippos, juvenile males.
Just to mess with them?
Yeah, because they're like 3 times the size of the biggest hippo.
Yeah.
So they really don't care. They're so much bigger, and these were juvenile males, and the hippos were swimming circles around them, and these elephants were trying to catch them and stuff like that. It's like a drunk teenager trying to catch a pig.
I get it. I know I can catch it. I get it. Or like I like seeing the little elephants walk up to the gators eating on something, and the gators are just like, or the baby hippo will walk up on some gators munching on something, and they'll just like, nope, they won't even mess with that baby hippo.
Oh no, because it's a bad deal. You don't touch the hippo.
Yeah, you know, Mama's over there. Mama gonna come over there and she's gonna stomp on somebody, or she's gonna take her 8 long tusk and plunge him through your spotty.
You ever seen that video of that crocodile that actually got stuck in that big herd of hippos?
Yes, that poor
You ever
dude.
seen it, Jay?
I don't think so.
The water's just turning brown from all the mud thrashing. Every once in a while, you see this big, like 18-foot crocodile being thrown out, like screaming. It looks like it's screaming as it's being ripped apart, and then it goes back in. And all these hippos are going nuts, like trying to find it.
Yeah.
And they ripped it apart.
Oh, man.
An 18-foot crocodile just got ripped apart.
That's insane.
Like 150 hippos.
Yeah, that poor guy. It's like he tried to get in the water, and they just scooped him back up. It's like, no, you need to stay on top, or he can bite you, and he can bite you, and he's going to bite you, and he's going to bite you.
Hippos are a-holes.
Yeah,
They are. I heard they've killed more people.
They kill more people than anything.
'Cause I heard they're super territorial.
Oh, yeah. I bet you they taste good, though. They look like big pigs.
I wonder.
Gators seem to like them.
I bet you they have a great pork belly.
That makes you wonder.
How much bacon can we get off of that? Oh, we're going to get a lot of hippo bacon.
Are they related to pigs?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's more closely related to cetaceans and sirenids.
What's that?
You know what a cetacean is.
Yeah, when you something in a
you
book.
break the law and they pull you
Oh,
over.
that too, yeah.
Cetacean, not citation.
Oh, okay, all right. That makes
Whales
sense.
and dolphins, and then sirenids are manatees and dugongs.
Okay. Well, shoot.
Close to the mammal category.
Well, I think that's a perfect one to end on.
Yeah,
This
that was
has
a
been
good one.
All right, Jimmy, we have tradition. Any guest we have on, we're going to count to 3, and we're all just going to scream bye into the mic.
Sweet.
And then our outro will play.
Oh, the outro.
You ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Bye!
Spring training is right around the corner, so come for the games and have a ball in Arizona. With world-class resorts, unbeatable dining and nightlife, amazing scenery, and endless outdoor adventure. Make your visit unforgettable. Plan your getaway at myspringtraining.com.